So it's time we shared with everyone why we're back in the States and what happened and everything. So here's the story. All right. And we're in Poland and the pandemic hit, and March 14th we were supposed to leave the country and go to Greece for, to continue our journey, because we couldn't go to Germany and Italy because that's where it was already like getting bad. And so we decided to hunker down in Poland, as we've shared, and we realized that we really couldn't go back to the States. There were flights that we could have taken onto that date, but the 15th of March, Poland had, they'd given 2 days notice that they were going to shut off all international travel and domestic travel within the country. So we thought, okay, how long could this whole thing last? So we decided to wait it out. And a lot of it was because we had nowhere to go. I mean, we could, look, there's a lot of you who are our friends who would have offered to have us come stay with you, which is very lovely. But we don't want to hop around. We want to be somewhere and be on our own and have our own place. And we don't own anything in the States. We have a van and we let Alex use it. That's it. That's all we got. And so we had nothing. And so we realized, even if we wanted, to go to the States, we had nowhere to go. So we decided that while we were hunkered down, we were like, okay, well, as the weeks went on, we were like, okay, well, we kind of want to have somewhere of our own to go. We don't know how long we're going to be here. Everything was in Polish. We'd have to wait for the expat group that we were in on Facebook to share information, or for the embassy in Warsaw to, send something to us each day in English, so that we'd know what the hell was going on and what new policies were. And, anyway, and Sebastian hadn't been able to play at any parks, and he hadn't been outside, and then he started having symptoms of anxiety whenever we would try to take him outside for any reason. He would scream and cry and wouldn't want to go. And so then we were like, well, this sucks. He needs to be outside, which made us think, well, we've owned an RV before. Maybe we should get another one, except not a shitty ass one, a good one. So we decided, okay, we're crazy, but we hated the one that we had before, but that's because it was a shitter, and we decided to fix it up when we're not fixer-uppers, and we know that about ourselves now super well. And then we also had stayed on the streets of LA, which is a bad idea. But we thought at the time, people called boondocking, and it sounded cool and it was doable, until we realized only people in LA who do that are homeless, for real homeless. So it was kind of a dangerous thing to do. But if you were in another part of the country, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Anyway, so we decided to get an RV. So then we spent the next probably 6-7 weeks researching RVs, which kind we'd want, blah blah blah. We settled on a specific kind of Winnebago, blah 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 blah. And we ended up getting a 2019 Winnebago Outlook 25J, no slide outs. We tried to get something much more, twice the price, that was super cool, had solar panels. I mean, it was pimped out, it was diesel, Sprinter, all this stuff. But did you know that even with great credit and money down, that if you have never had a history of buying anything more than $20,000, which is us, our van is the biggest purchase we've ever made at $21,000, because we always buy shitters. We just don't care about buying things, or we've never bought a house. We just never have been into buying things. So, we were high risk, even though all of our payments are on time, and we had good credit scores and everything. So we couldn't get a loan for what we wanted. So we ended up settling, but, settling for, a $50,000 vehicle, I think is not that bad of a deal either. But, this is the perfect size for us. It's 26 feet. We don't have to, Alex can still use our van. We don't have to take that from her, and we can just travel with this and park, wherever we want. And right now we're in it. If you can see, Sebastian's back there in his car seat, watching his programs and playing with his toys, and Sean's in Walmart getting a couple last minute things before we take off for today. But so anyway, so then here's what else happened in the whole thing. So it took us 4 tries to try to get approved for something. We had to keep stepping down in price. And so we finally got this one, and we were so excited. This is actually perfect, and we're going to paint it inside and maybe even the outside, I don't know, and get solar and other stuff done to it because it saved us money. But it's awesome. We're so happy, and we have a little mobile home, and now we can travel the States and Canada when Canada opens, and Mexico when Mexico reopens. And always have some sort of a place that we can come back to. And I don't know, we never felt like we needed a place in the States before. I don't know why we never felt like we wanted a home that we bought, but after the pandemic, we just felt super strongly that we needed something. But we didn't want anything sticks and bricks, that we had to be permanently set on. We still like to be very mobile and nomadic. So this really works for us. So here's how it worked out. So not last Monday. Yeah, so last Monday. So today is Tuesday. So a week and a half ago on Thursday for this final round of loans, we submitted the paperwork, and the loan, it took all weekend. Now here's the thing about Poland. There's still no flights out. So you have to be on a special flight arranged from the Polish airline lot and through the U.S. consulate, the embassy there. If you are not approved by the embassy as an American citizen or as an alien or green card holder, you can't get on this flight. And they've only had like 7 of them since the pandemic started. And so there was one that was supposed to leave Saturday. So we had been trying to work towards getting on that one on this last Saturday, not this one, the Saturday before last. And the loan still wasn't approved. So then our last chance was this last Wednesday to get on that flight. So we got approved on Monday afternoon in Poland, so Monday morning in the States. And then I had to submit paperwork online through the U.S. Embassy to request to be put on the list for the airplane that left on Wednesday. But the way that it works is that you have to wait for LOT, the Polish Airlines, to call you personally to offer you the flight for that Wednesday so that you could pay and get on it. And then they totally rape you too. It's like $2,400, which sucked, but whatever, we got out. Anyway, so we had to also schedule the only flights. They only flew into one place, JFK, and there's another flight that had happened into Chicago O'Hare, but the only flight out that week was Wednesday, and we had to be on it to be able to come back to do the paperwork, to get the vehicle and everything. So we never got a call Tuesday night, so we're stressing, and which also meant that I could not book our travel to Texas, which is where we bought the RV in Texas. And so, or Airbnbs or anything until I knew that we had this LOT flight. So the next morning I woke up early, and at 9 a.m. I took an Uber to the Warsaw Chopin Airport. And then I waited for an hour and a half to have the guy verify that we're on the freaking list through the embassy and that they didn't call us, but that he can issue us tickets. Otherwise, you'd have to wait for the consulate employee to come, which did not come at the time they were supposed to, at 10 a.m. So there were people still at 10:45. No one from the consulate was there, and they were still waiting to see if they could get tickets. The good news is that there was only 25 people on a big Dreamliner, so there's plenty of seats, so that was good. I get the tickets, head back to the house, get there about 11 o'clock. We leave by 12 to get back to the airport because the flight was at 2:15 p.m. At the airport, I booked our flights for the next day from Newark Airport. And so here I am stressing out too, because every airline and every city and every state has different freaking corona rules, right? Like every rule is totally different. And you can watch, I have other videos on my YouTube page that I've created, and on Facebook too, that I've posted some of them, like what each airport was doing. So I was freaking the fuck out. Like what's each one? Are we going to be able to get into New York, and then are we going to be able to go to Newark to go get on the plane the next day? And we tried to find places, hotels in New York, but they had all these rules, and unless it was considered essential travel, which I don't even know what that is. Apparently, I would think that having to flee Poland to come to the U.S. was kind of essential travel, but I wasn't sure that would be. So I found Airbnbs that didn't ask any questions. So thank you, Airbnb. Anyway, booked that at the airport, and then flew in. Everything, as you can see, is fine. We're in America, and then we get to go to the place McLean's, and that was in Sanger, Texas. And we had a lot of people in Texas that wanted us to come visit, but because of Corona, we just didn't want to come see anybody, just in case, and we didn't want to do that to anybody. And then also the whole goal, and right now our whole goal is just to get to Alex right now, get up to Seattle, go see Alex, spend some time with her, and we had some stuff shipped to her that we need for the RV and also too. So we're going to spend about a week or two there, and then we're going to start our journeys and take time to travel. So right now it's just hectic pace. Every day is like 4 to 6 hours of driving and staying overnight somewhere. And last night we stayed at this super cool scenic overlook in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And the night before that we stayed at a Cracker Barrel. We'd never been to a Cracker Barrel before, so now we know what a Cracker Barrel is, and they let us spend the night in the parking lot there. They have these special parking spots for RVs, so we did that, and that was awesome. I mean, not awesome, but it's in a parking lot, so that was nice that we had a place to stay. And then tonight we are going to go to spend the night at a casino parking lot. And instead of just going to regular campgrounds where you hook up and everything, like, we just want to be super mobile right now until we get to Seattle. And then we're going to, have some time where we're actually boondocking on BLM land or at campsites, as well as, occasionally staying overnight somewhere, but to have much slower travel. Anyway, if anyone in the Seattle area, we should be there this weekend probably. If anyone in the Seattle area has like an RV parking spot that we can come park at for a few days to a week or something like that, that'd be like super awesome. Like, and we don't even have to come near you because there's rules in Washington. Like, we can't see you and we have to say hi from afar. So we are totally able to handle our own, water, power, all that stuff. So if not, we will go find a campsite a little farther out to go stay at and do that. So that's where we're at right now. And yeah, so that's our big story. And there's another video that we have attached where Sean shows the vehicle inside a little bit. And yeah, so that's our story.